The first group of strategies to overcome change we're going to look at are low risk, and that's where we said it's things where the business or the manager seeks to overcome resistance from employees by including and involving them. And we're going to look at four strategies: communication, empowerment, support, and incentives. So just looking at those, what are they? Well, we don't need to go into too much detail, but communication just means that you use two-way communication when there's a change to inform employees about things like what is the change, what are the reasons for it. People generally are more accepting of change when they know why it's being promoted or proposed, the impact that it'll have on them, and the progress as you're going. So if you communicate those things, you're going to have less resistance to change. You can also use empowerment, and that is where not only do you communicate with employees, but you get or share the responsibility for the change with them. You help them, they get to help decide what changes are required, the strategies you're going to implement, and they're going to be more likely to be committed to and accept changes that they help to introduce. We could also have support. So that is where people are feeling upset, you can provide support in order to reduce fear and resistance. So counseling, mentoring, discussion, forums, well-being activities like social events, that sort of thing. And lastly, you could offer incentives. So not punishments, incentives. That's where you provide employees with a reward in return for their support and implementation of a proposed change. So things like a bonus, a raise, job promotion, gifts, awards, social events, that sort of thing. Now, for these strategies as a group, we could say there's some good things and some bad things. Now, the good things are going to be in the long term, because in the long term, employee morale is going to be higher, so resistance to change is going to be lower. And that's because you're going to build trust and respect between the business and the manager and the team of employees. The other good thing about it is you're actually including employees in the changes, so you're going to get their ideas and strategies, and that's good because they have ideas from the ground level of the business. If we go back to the Maslow theory, we could say that this is going to increase motivation because it meets the higher order needs of employees to fulfill their potential by being involved in change. So that's going to help with them stay with the business long term. Employees are going to be more motivated and committed to changes that they're involved in. Most people, if they're just told what to do without a reason, they're going to be more resistant to a change. Whereas if you're involved in coming up with that change, you're going to accept it a bit more. And lastly, if you're a consultative or participative manager, these are going to be things that you're doing anyway. So it's going to occur naturally with your management style. What are the bad things? Well, they're mostly short term. We'll say in the short term, using these strategies is going to be much slower to implement than if I just tell people what to do without any debate. And also, that mightn't even be possible if it's sort of an emergency or a crisis, then we can't implement it by doing a lot of discussion and debate. It also costs a lot of money. If I use all those incentives like bonuses and promotions and so on, that is going to cost the business a lot of money. Also, it can be inconsistent change because we're going to get opinions from lots of different people. That just means it's harder to implement one good idea. We might implement 5 average ideas because that pleases everyone. And that means, there can be conflict between the manager and the employees. Anytime we open anything up for debate and two-way communication, we get different opinions. That means there could possibly be conflicts too.